feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So
the opening minutes of Caitlin Clark were just leaked by the European League. They grinned broadly as they did it. Why wouldn't they? It's worth celebrating when you win the lotto without even trying.
No matter how the cachet of the WNBA elevates, remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up. You messed it up.
And when I refer to the WNBA as the dumbest people on the planet, they essentially gift-wrapped there Caitlin Clark, the golden goose, and gave her to the EuroLeague on a silver platter, if that isn't the ultimate. I have no idea what idiocy is.
And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA.
Let's face it, Caitlin is finally free from the ongoing abuse she had to put up with, so she must be breathing easier today. No more sudden, haphazard hip checks. Nobody is attempting to gouge her eyes as if it were a form of contact. A horror show about sports. Now that the WNBA is most likely in the background, she can truly concentrate on basketball. Thinking what in the world happened just now? The European game is nearly superior to the NBA game. Caitlin Clark, then, merely dipped on the WNBA, and let's face it, is it really her fault? Europe is now flexing after the WNBA essentially bungled the bag. As if they had just won the jackpot. And they did. The European League is essentially laying the groundwork for Clark, while the WNBA is left perplexed as to how they lost their most talented player. However, it is the result of treating your best players like a youngster off the bench.
In the WNBA through marketing this and that. I don't know what Kathy was talking about, because even the highest paid player in the WNBA currently makes a little over $200,000 in salary.
Let's start by discussing money, as the WNBA certainly wasn't. In total, Clark was earning between $76,000 and $78,000. Throughout her first season, that's it. In the meantime, Europe is prepared to give her a bag large enough to wow WNBA executives. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars extra, so let's cry. And you know what? In Europe, people genuinely tend to their lodging, transportation, taxes, etc. For gamers, they cover everything. Yes, you read correctly. The WNBA was unable to even include a bus pass for free. However, Europe, Clark is living like a king or queen.
With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even
The remainder of the WNBA brain trust, including Kathy Engelbert, are now terrified. What do they have left at all? Clark. Oh, I see. Nothing. This is the same league where Clark attracted millions of fans, increasing their audience by 142%, although she since left. Just vanished. And for what purpose? A pitiful $300,000 spread over 4 years?
Caitlin Clark has now broke that glass ceiling, and they should be bowing at her. She's going to create jobs and money.
When you consider what the European League is providing, that is absurd. And let's not even begin on Ice Cube offering her $5 million in exchange for 10 games. 10 games. That's more than Clark would have produced over the course of 4 WNBA seasons. To be honest, I would quickly pack my things if I were her.
Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games, and so it's kind of sad that through all of that, Caitlin was still advocating for players on the other team to get bonuses because she saw the kind of money and eyeballs and viewership that all of this was generating.
But let's not act as though it's only about the money. The WNBA couldn't even begin to imagine what the EuroLeague possesses. Real time of year. Europe is operating from October, whereas the WNBA barely makes it through a few months in the summer. Clark will have more time to play, develop, and compete at a high level until April. And you know what? The European competition. Much more difficult. At this moment, the WNBA could as well be a pickup game given the level of intensity Clark is going to face abroad. While the WNBA is stuck playing patty cake, Europe is over there honing their swords.
To hell with the WNBA. They're nothing. They're nobody. Nobody's watching.
They lost 50.
Caitlin Clark's opening few minutes were just dropped by the European League. And believe me when I say that Europe struck gold. In the meantime, the WNBA is sitting there, most likely in a corner, attempting to determine how they allow their brightest star to fade away. Oh, be honest, whatever they did to Clark ought to be prosecuted as a crime against basketball. The WNBA made so many mistakes that it seemed as though they were pleading with Europe to sign her. And Europe? Well, if they tried, they would be quite fortunate.
I understand she hadn't played in the league yet, but at least the popularity and the interest around it.
Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark, is now among them. And the WNBA is left with a huge void where their only interesting player in the past. And let's not overlook the recommendations. Clark isn't merely accumulating points on the floor. She's going to make a lot of money off the court as well. When it comes to sponsorships, Europe is a completely different ballgame. And brand agreements. While the WNBA is over here inquiring, Clark is going to appear on every billboard from London to Paris. What went wrong? What about everything? Caitlin was freaking Clark, and you let her to get away with it. Your fingertips. Europe didn't even need to make a strong effort. They simply gave her what she was due.
That sounds like a dream. Traveling around Europe, playing basketball.
Like we went to Paris played in Paris for the EuroLeague Championship.
Let's now discuss what Europe is receiving in contrast to the WNBA, which essentially feels like the same old song and dance every. The EuroLeague is an actual competition. It's not just American athletes competing against one another. It's elite talent from a formidable nations such as France, Spain, Turkey, and Russia. The WNBA was never able to. Clark is going to face teams that play basketball with grit and toughness. No more soft WNBA bullshit. It's all about brute force in Russia. I'm excited to watch how she handles having to toughen up and start bodying people. Then there's Turkey, where rapid plays are the main focus and the game is sleek and fast-paced. Forget the slow pace of the WNBA. A basketball lesson is about to begin for Clark.
There could be a world where more of these private-owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas.
And here's the thing. The EuroLeague is all about collaboration, accuracy, and real tactics. Is it possible for Clark to play in a league where players don't merely wait for a single star to win the game? She will need to adjust to the type of basketball that is truly significant. At this moment, the WNBA might as well be a pickup game in comparison to what she's going to go through in Europe.
People don't always share all of the good things that they're doing, and Caitlin by no means had to do that.
It's also important to remember the history of the EuroLeague. You know, they've been doing this since 1958, long before the WNBA was a thing. Here, legends like Breanna Stewart and Diana Taurasi flourished, and Clark is set to carry on that tradition. However, she will perform it more effectively. The WNBA can only watch as Clark enters the realm of basketball royalty, the sidelines, and ponder what might have been.
Because Russia paid Diana Taurasi at that time $1.5 million salary to play in Russia. Now, at the time in the WNBA, the salary, like the highest salary in the league, was $107,000.
And the supporters? They're bustling, I see. Some of the most ardent and passionate basketball fans worldwide are from Europe, and they are now able to witness Caitlin Clark illuminate their courts. The analogy to the renowned European trips of Kobe Bryant is already being slung around, and with good cause. For European basketball, this is a pivotal moment. Russian fans, Spain and Turkey have already filled venues for the match. They now have a celebrity like Clark to cheer for. A completely new level of energy is ready to emerge. In the meantime, WNBA fans in the US are confined to watching. What precisely? They have nothing to look forward to without Clark.
She was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. The Indiana Fever was turning away games into home.
In relation to the WNBA, let's discuss the impending decline in viewership. Clark pulled in on his own. More viewers than the league has had in a long time. On average, 1.18 million people watched her Indiana Fever games per game. Give that some thought. Clark was more than double the WNBA's overall viewership, which was only 394,000 each game. However, she is no longer with us. Nobody was paying attention to anyone else. They supported Clark, and in her absence. I wish you luck in maintaining people's interest.
Okay, they have the highest audience they've seen in 24 seasons in the WNBA games. Televised games with Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever averaged 1.18 million viewers compared to 394,000 for all other games. There were a record 22 games that averaged over 1 million.
During the playoffs, the evidence was already evident. When Clark wasn't playing, ratings fell by over 50%. The initial encounter between the Liberty and the Aces. Just 929,000 people watched. That is less than 1 million. While Clark was having fun. The WNBA will be devastated by her absence, and they deserve every bit of it for allowing her to escape.
All of this just nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night.
Clark was the league's lifeblood, and now she's taking her skills and the supporters with her. Across to Europe. And Europe? Well, they're going to take advantage of this like it's no big deal. Already, the EuroLeague had a powerful fan base, but now that Clark is involved, forget about it. Areas in Turkey and Russia that are sold out. That's only the start. Clark will be in the epicenter of the impending explosion of the European basketball scene, putting up a performance that the WNBA would never be able to replicate. And the WNBA? They may watch and lament their losses, as it will never return. The WNBA had an opportunity, but they utterly failed. Clark was placed in the same box, as everyone else expected her to stay while slapping a small salary in her hand. She's not simply a role player, she's a superstar, can be thrown around. And Europe is refusing to let go of her now that they have her.
All of this just nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans, but from competitors, coaches, all of these people.
Enjoy your empty seats and depressing ratings, WNBA. Perhaps you'll know how to handle a player like Clark the next time. But wait, there won't be another chance. She is now Europe's treasure. The WNBA can continue to lament this as the EuroLeague receives. To witness Clark break records and drop baskets. Well done, WNBA. This time, you truly exceeded your own expectations.